Okay. I feel weird even going over this one, because on a very functional level, I really don't consider this a boss. Like, he is one, don't get me wrong, but take a little gander at that special property down there, and yes, it is impossible for us to damage Uumuu until something besides us hits him first, which will cause it to stagger for several moments, which is where our old pal Quirrell comes in. He'll land a slash on Uumuu at pretty slow intervals, and there is nothing we can do to encourage him to do that any faster, so all we have to do while we wait is avoid attacks and stay relatively close. This is probably the largest arena that we've had the luxury of so far, so, not unlike No Eyes, this fight ends up being more of a test of your platforming skills than anything. Now, as for the attacks, we have two. The Target Zap, and the Scatter Zap. Throughout the entire fight, Uumuu will very slowly pursue the knight around the arena, stopping only when using an attack or staggered. Both of its attacks have unlimited range, so basically every element of this fight is designed to keep you on the move. The Target Zap is more straightforward, always targeting the knight's exact location with a long series of electric bursts, each with a small telegraph to give you some time to move away. There's not much to this one. As long as you don't hold still or double back, there's no threat here, and you certainly have plenty of directions to move in. The Scatter Zap is a little tougher, as Uumuu summons 23 electric bursts all throughout the arena, primarily over the tops of platforms, making most of them unsafe to stand on. All but a few, that is. There are two different preset formations Uumuu can summon the bursts in, and they mirror each other. In both of them, these two bottom platforms are always safe, half of this center platform is as well, and one of these two topmost. The most reliable safe spots, though, are swimming in the acid below or wall jumping if you can't get that far down. Now, as I said, the game plan here is really simple, since it basically just revolves around waiting for Quirrell to do the whole fight for us. But the onus is still on you to stay on the move, yet stick close to Uumuu, so you can take advantage of his stagger time. Bear in mind that you can use his head as an extra bouncy nail pogo target. It can help you navigate a little easier. Avoiding the electricity is generally the only thing you have to worry about, but it's especially easy if you always assume on his wind-up that he's going to use the Scatter Zap. Just head to one of the mini safe spots when you see an attack starting, and simply keep moving if it turns out to be the Target Zap. And there's really not much more to it than that. Now let's, with the help of Quirrell, show this overgrown Metroid that he's in the wrong Metroidvania. Uumuu. Now, Uumuu is probably the most different any bosses that we've faced up here in Godhome have been. Only 50 more HP, but now packing a new attack, that being Summon Uuma's, which I'll jump ahead to him doing. Here it is, he lets out a roar, and summons 2, I believe occasionally 3 Uuma's to come up from the acid below. Obviously really easy to dodge, just don't attack them and they move in a straight line from the bottom to the top, but by this point you should probably notice a second attack, or a second major difference between this fight and the last, and that is that Quirrell is not here. But Uumuu still has the same properties that he did back when we fought him at first, which is he can't be damaged until we hit him with something besides a spell or our nail. And in this case, that is the explosions of the Uuma's. And these guys have always been a bit unwieldy, and it can be extremely difficult to get them lined up to take on the big guy. You can use the fact they home back in, or you can hit them directly into the shell, but either way, you have to get that explosion to hit the Uumuu, or to hit Uumuu. Otherwise, you are not going to be able to finish this fight. But no time to breathe, because on Ascended, things get even more difficult. The acid down at the bottom has been replaced with a bottomless pit, which makes avoiding the electricity that much more difficult. Yeah! Alright, there we go. Now, on the bright side, the damage that the Uuma's actually do is pretty significant when they hit him with the explosion. So even though he does have a fair bit of health, using the big explosions can help the boss fight go relatively quickly. However, this is definitely one of the more difficult ones. It's sort of like a puzzle. Oh, shoot, that didn't work. Did it work? No? Yes? Okay. I think I hit him, and then didn't hit him with the second one. That was strange. Oh, this guy's right below, right below. Here we go. Nice. Good boomerang, good boomerang. Excellent. Okay. Only took one hit there. That wasn't too bad. Honestly, I think this is awesome. Uumuu, like I said, is probably the least boss-like boss in the entire game, since you basically just have to wait for someone else to fight it for you. This is a lot more proactive, but in combination with the lack of floor, this ends up being one of the more difficult boss fights to Radiant. But the key here is patience. Now, if you do want, you can get a little bit of extra spell at the start of the fight with the Dream Nail right here, by jumping up to that platform. Not entirely necessary, but can be helpful, since the Shade Souls can definitely help in hitting the Uumas, like so, which will cause him to fly back and hit a platform. Almost got him pretty well there, but unfortunate. Ooh, this guy's coming up right beneath. Check this out! Alright. And so there are a lot of really good ways that you can use your spells to easily get the membrane out of your way. But no need to get too fancy with it. Uh-oh. Ooh, that was close. Oh, gosh! Ooh. And of course, I do want to point out that, of course, the Uumas do double damage. This is actually the first fight, I believe, we fought in Godhome, where a fight has different damage values. And of course the Uumas do double on Ascended to doing 4 damage, but it's interesting because it ends up making no difference on Radiance. When everything's infinite, it doesn't matter if something does more damage or less. It's the great equalizer. Thank you again for watching Boss Blitz. Any inconsistencies, any other questions, check the playlist in the top left, and pretty much everything should be answered. Next up, we're heading over to the Kingdom's Edge and fighting the Hive Knight.